Tick tock, 6 o'clock, there's that old alarm again. Stand up, eyes shut, wishing I was sleeping in. Don't know how I do it, but somehow I do it every day. Just the same. Get dressed, still a mess, shuffle.
Well, good morning everyone. It's been a long time since we did one of these, but figured we'd give you a farm update today. Show you what we have growing out here. It's been a lot of changes since we first started. Sold the cows, turned the front into a growing area. So hopefully you can hear me good. And don't mind the mess, we just haven't had time to clean up a lot of stuff. So inside the hoop house, we have our grape, tomatoes, and our first planting of slicing tomatoes along the edges over there. Starting here, we have our row of basil, our first planting of green beans, third planting of green beans because the second planting's out in the field, our curly leaf parsley and flat Italian leaf parsley in the back, our ají dulce sweet peppers, our lunchbox peppers, sweet also, 2 rows here of strawberries. This one was the Sun Gold and Sun Sugar cherry tomatoes with some German Johnson heirlooms in the back. These tomatoes here are our Amish paste tomatoes. Our kale, we have the curly leaf kale and the Toscano, aka dinosaur kale. These 2 rows here were pickling cucumbers and the Japanese cucumbers, but as you see, they're pretty much done already for the season. Coming to the second side here, as you can see, the lettuce started bolting, but some of it hasn't, so we're still going to try to make a salad mix. This is bad. These are good. These bolted. These are good. And some of these are good and some of these have bolted. Then over here we have the first planting of zucchini and yellow squash, which we kind of just let go already because the second planting out in the field has already started producing for us. I just have to come in here and clean this up. And we have another row of strawberries, a row of eggplant, a row of onions. These are candy onions, and we have red onions out in the back. And then another row of eggplant here, which this eggplant variety is definitely a great producer. I think it's called Thanos. Guys being nosy. Let's see. This raised bed, this was our chives. I think most of it is garlic chives, and then we have regular chives there. Here are scallions or green onions, which we gotta harvest some of that to bring with us to the farm stand next time. Our sage. This is our spearmint, which has already gone to seed, so no more mint for this year. And hopefully with all these seeds on here, it starts spreading all over the place where it becomes a problem. This was our home towers of potatoes, which looks like I need to harvest this today because the plants have already died back. Hopefully it's not too late to harvest them. Heading back this way. This is all the pumpkins and winter squash that never made it to the fields because we ran out of room, and I haven't been down to our other fields to get those prepared for this year because we've been so busy here. We had a lot of pumpkin and acorn, butternut squash, spaghetti squash that was meant to go down the road and across the creek. In December, we signed the lease for an additional 40 acres. Probably, let's say, about 20 of which is actually farmable. The rest of it goes from the creek to the tree line, and needed access to water plants and such. But since we were doing most of this by hand, in the beginning, it took a little too long, and we weren't able to do anything down there this year. But for next year, we're going to do all of the ground prep work in March, starting in March, and then come May, we're going to be planting this field again, and also the 2 fields that we leased down by the road. So this is our little farm stand. As you see, it looks very crude, but as long as it works. Over here is the small greenhouse, which I think we got at Harbor Freight for about maybe about 220 bucks or something like that. And the nice thing about this thing is that it's small enough where we can actually heat it with a small space heater down there. We put some silicone around the edges of these things to make it kind of seal in some of the heat, and in the springtime this thing worked great to start seeds in. These are also the watermelons that didn't make it to the other fields, some extra yellow squash, some green zucchini back there that I'm actually using to fill in any dead ones here. And then we have honeydew and cantaloupe here that again was meant for the other fields but didn't quite make it. This acorn squash looks horrible, but it's been sitting there for a few months. Then some peppers and yellow onions here that if we had extra space here we would have had planted, but again we were limited on space. Here's our little raised bed of rosemary. This used to be the cows' little run-in shed. Now we're just using it to throw stuff in there. It's storage now. This is, oh, why isn't this open? So this is the larger of the 2 little greenhouses. I think this one was from Wayfair, and personal review of this thing: don't get this on Wayfair. This thing was horrible to put together. But this is the one that the missus uses to start her flowers in, and as you can tell, these didn't sell, and yeah. But yeah, the one from Harbor Freight, I didn't even read the instructions to put that one together, and it went up together so fast. This thing was a nightmare to put together, and yeah, as soon as this thing breaks and falls apart, we are definitely getting another Harbor Freight greenhouse. These are our zinnias, snapdragons here, have our dill for when we had pickling cucumbers, but we still have dill, so if you need some. The cilantro went to seed already. Look at that, tons of little bees on these flowers. Not big on using coriander for a spice, but we'll definitely have extra cilantro seeds from these. This was the second planting of zinnias. I think the first one over there are called giant dahlia zinnias, and then these are just, I guess, regular zinnias. These we broadcast spread the seeds in this area. The ones over there we started in trays and then planted them in the landscape fabric. My backhoe for the tractor is back there. The old hay ring for the cows is back there. And then you got the sunflowers here, these mammoth sunflowers that it was, I guess we're calling this the bumper crop here because we didn't intend for this to get so big and so nice, but yeah, we started out by saving 2 heads of seeds 2 years ago. We had 2 mammoth sunflowers growing behind the house in one of the raised beds back there, and we saved the seeds from 2 heads and was able to plant all of this with I think those 2 heads filled up about a half-gallon mason jar of seeds. And just show you how far back this goes. We tried interplanting corn in between the sunflowers so that we could have gotten both sunflowers and corn here, but I think it was too late for the corn, and sunflowers just kind of like shaded them out. Well, since I'm already down here too, I guess I'll start down here and then work my way back up. So these here and these rows going down this way, this first row here is these are cayenne peppers closest to me. Let's see if there's any red ones on here. Oh yeah, there's one in there. I see a red one in there. I want to try making my own hot sauce. We didn't plant that many. There's probably like 30 to 40 something plants here. And then the rest of the row down there are jalapenos. This row here closest to us, these small little plants, these used to be Japanese cucumbers, and then when they kind of gave up and died, we just replanted them with green zucchini because that seems to be a much more desirable item for us to sell. And then down there, those longer bushy ones, those are regular slicing cucumbers. This row here, you know what, I might as well just take a walk down here so you can see. Let's see, these are cantaloupes. I think these are the Athenas. Yeah, these here are Athenas. And somewhere along the next row, because the next row here is also cantaloupe and honeydew melons, so at some point there it switches over. But yeah, there's a nice size one there, but still has time to grow. Over here is our yellow squash. I think the variety that would grow again is called Butterfingers, and that's like the second planting. Usually for the first planting we'll do Tempest, which is like a crookneck yellow squash, and that thing just produces. The only problem with that one is that it has a lot of spikes, like the spines on the leaves, like on the stems and stuff. It scratches the fruit, scratches your hands. Here's some of the jalapenos here. These are some of the longer ones. Can't remember this variety because it's a bunch of letters and numbers. Let's see. Cucumbers, yeah. And there's one there. Just sitting on the plastic. And then it switches, the next row over here switches over to zucchini, which I see some big ones there that we have to harvest today. Which I think I've got Sarah Street Grill's order of zucchini ready, just by what we have in the cooler and what I see out here. So we might be able to have some extra for sale for our farm stand or for other wholesale clients. Like we sell to Sarah Street Grill Pocono Farmstead on Route 611 in Tannersville, Flood's Nursery, Lewis's Supermarket. So it's just a matter of making sure that we have enough to provide for everyone. Yeah, these are the honeydew melons here. And then down here, I don't know if you can see, we had some of the leftover onions that we planted along this area here, because this row is uncovered because our potatoes are here. So from here down, this row here is potatoes. My neighbor Rob had a bunch of extra potatoes that had spudded in his basement and offered them to us to grow. And I said, well, I think I have a row to put them in because I haven't covered it with plastic, and the row didn't really look too uniform, so it was perfect. And we just used the water wheel transplanter to just punch the hole in the ground, stick the potato in, and cover it with water and dirt. So down here is our watermelons. Again, we had planned to plant a lot more watermelons than this, and yeah, it's a shame because it would have been nice to have all the extra watermelons, but as you can see down here, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, just in these first 10 feet, there's 10 red watermelons. These are sugar baby watermelons here. And then this row, these are the yellow baby. I think these are called yellow babies. And these are a yellow watermelon. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. These are the yellow babies here in the second row. And then, since in the, I think it was January or February when I ordered seeds, they didn't have any of the yellow watermelon seeds, so I ordered orange watermelon seeds. And that's what these are down here. Let's see if I see one. Yeah, this one looks almost just like the yellow watermelon, so that's going to be tough to tell the difference here between the two when they start getting the size, because these two kind of look the same, at least with the red watermelons we can tell the difference. So we're definitely going to have to trace the vine back to the plant to figure out which one is which when we go to label them for sale. If somebody wants the yellow one and ends up with an orange one, I mean, who knows? They'll probably like it and ask for the orange one. Or if they want an orange one and get a yellow one, then they like the yellow one. Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of definitely a lot of watermelons down here. We do still fertilize out here, even though the cows have been out here for the past 3-4 years. That sunflower area up there has not received any fertilizer this year, and definitely there's some 12-foot flowers on that. All right, down here, our failed row of beets. Well, it's not completely failed because there's still some here. We tried the red beets and also a golden beet, and seems like down here at the end is the only place where it actually grew pretty nice. And then I think the rain or the heat kind of killed most of the rest of it down there. Green beans, this is the second planting of green beans here next to them. And then when the beets kind of got washed or dried out, we replaced them with zucchini, both yellow zucchini and green zucchini, because again, we can't sell enough of this stuff. People want their zucchini out here. Green beans. Yeah, there's green beans in here. We gotta pull some today. I see some nice ones in there. The next row over, I'm trying to remember if they are snow peas or sugar snap peas. Regardless, the next row over from them, that's what the other one is. And then, I'm closer on this side. Let me just walk back this way. The first row up here are sweet soybeans, or also known as edamame. So go to a hibachi restaurant and order edamame. I think they kind of roast or saute these with some salt. Then you squeeze out the beans from the pod, and I like these things. So I haven't really seen anyone else grow these. Like, I've seen people grow the commercial soybeans for like other uses, but I saw the seeds in the catalog, so I said, why not? Let's see if we can grow these here. And looking at how nice the row came out so far, depending on how good we sell these, we might grow a lot more of it next year. Because Sarah Street Grill also does sushi, which means they sell edamame, and they've already offered to buy the edamame from us, or whatever I leave for them, because I'm going to eat some of it. And then this bottom row here is Pantera jalapenos and Jedi jalapenos. We grew 3 varieties of jalapenos because I wanted to see which ones produce the best, so that we can continue narrowing down what we're growing. There's one down there. There's not too many on here, but that's because we harvested some the other day. The next row over here are serrano peppers, which to my knowledge are hotter than jalapenos. Again, this is another special request from Sarah Street Grill in Stroudsburg. They use serrano peppers in their sushi. Then you have a row of sweet banana peppers here. Nothing better than pickled sweet banana peppers for your sandwich. The next couple of rows here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 rows of bell peppers. I can't remember which one this is. I think this one is called tarpon, and the next variety is called turnpike. Again, we grew 5 different kinds of bell peppers. One of them being a yellow bell pepper, which we're going to order for next year regardless. But we ordered 4 different kinds of bell peppers that are going to turn red, because I want to see which one produces the best peppers, so we can narrow down what we plant for next year. And if you notice here also, next to this weed, there's another banana pepper here, because we ran out of plugs for the bell peppers, and we'll call it OCD. I don't like seeing empty spaces like these 2 here. Like, I would have put more peppers down here, whatever I had. But I try to keep sweet peppers with sweet peppers and hot peppers with hot ones. So yeah, like inside the bell peppers, you'll find a mixture of sweet banana peppers. Let's see, this is an ají dulce, which I don't know what you want to call it as. It's basically a sweet habanero. I see a tiny one in there, but I don't know if you can see it. And we'll call it Spanish cuisine because my wife uses it for making sofrito. We have quite a bit of ají dulces here. We have some in the first growing area, as well as out here. And then let's see this. Some of these bell peppers got sun scalded, but trust me when I say a lot of these are absolutely fine, other than the ones that got beat up by the sun, because it's been one of those years. Let me see, this rose here, this is your traditional bell pepper here called King Arthur, and they got some big bell peppers here. And then the first one here was called Frodo, which was a new bell pepper variety, which was supposed to be a much longer, bigger bell pepper. So let's see if there's a nice one here. Yeah. Like just the shape of them. They're a little bit longer. I think it said it was supposed to be like 3.5 to, oh, we got grasshoppers here. 3.5 to 4.5 inches wide, and then there's one down there. Probably bad. So, continuing the hunt for the perfect bell peppers. And then the last three, well, technically the first three when you walk in, these are our beefsteak tomatoes. This was our first year growing determinate tomatoes. We've usually grown the indeterminates in the hoop house, but I'm not as crazy about how they produce. Like, they don't produce big tomatoes. Out here they grow pretty big, and they just started ripening up last week, let's say, maybe 2 weeks ago, and now they're producing like crazy. But I know once they're done producing, that's it, the plant is done. This first one here, which was a great producer for us this year so far, is called Florida 7514, if I remember. And they put out some very nice uniformed and large tomatoes. Yeah, we gotta pick some more of these because I got an order for 50 pounds of these tomatoes for just Sarah Street for Friday. And then the next one is Red Snapper beefsteak tomatoes, which these have definitely some big tomatoes on them. Let me see if I can find one of the big ones. I touched one that was green and it fell off the vine. I was so mad. And when I put it on the scale, I think it weighed like 1.25 or 1.5 pounds. Yeah, there's definitely a big one in there. It's red. And then the last row here of tomatoes is Wind Up. I think it was called Wind Up, and that's maybe about 3/4 of the row. And then we finished off the row with Mountain Fresh Plus, which those plants, you know, it's like the planting earlier in the year with oh, that's a nice size one in there too. I don't know if you can see them in there. Since we were doing everything by hand in the beginning, I mean, like these rows down here, meaning like we tilled it and formed the bed with the tractor, but then laying the drip tape down and covering it with plastic and then covering the edges with soil, that was all done by hand for these first 3 rows. And then we got the equipment to do the rest of it down there with the tractor, and that definitely sped things up a lot, because who knows, if we didn't have it, I'd probably still be planting this field and wouldn't have as much as we do now. There's another big one in there. It's hard to tell, but so this is our first year farming out here in the front. This lot, or this field, is probably maybe about the size of an acre, maybe a little bit bigger. Combined with the original garden area, we'll say it's about 1.5 acres. But we're definitely producing a lot here, and already sort of looking forward to expanding next year, to incorporate a lot more into the new fields that we lease. I'll bring this GoPro down there. I've had this GoPro since the magazine, which was probably like somewhere in like 2010, 2012. I got this GoPro and it's still working good. But I'm gonna bring this down to the fields one day, maybe one after I get it mowed, because it's all like tall grass and weeds right now. Take you for a tour down there. But again, thanks for watching. And oh yeah, got Red here, the workhorse of the farm. Got a 5-foot flail mower for this thing this year, and yeah, I tried to, oh, you know what, I have one of the pieces of equipment here. Sorry, I'm like a squirrel going all over the place. But I blew the hydraulic line on the back of the tractor here, lifting the mower down at the other fields when I was trying to mow it. I guess the tire rubbed on the hydraulic line for too long and then it burst. But this is one of the new pieces of equipment that we bought. This is the plastic mulch layer and hill maker and drip tape layer. Pretty much does it all. So once we rototill with the blue Ford rototiller over there, then we'll pass over the row with this, with a roll of black plastic mulch. This thing will form the bed, throw the plastic over it, lay the drip tape underneath, and cover the sides with dirt, all in one pass. And then back up behind the barn, because I kind of put it away already, is the water wheel transplanter, which maybe when we do another video, I'll do a video on, you know, the tools that we use for getting the ground ready for planting, and maybe show you guys how it works and stuff. But all right, that's the tour. Not sure where I'm posting this, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, some social media site. If this is your first time watching, what is it that these guys always say? Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And we don't put videos out that often, mainly because I'm too busy. But we try. But see you next time from Moody Hollow Farmstead.